Let's just get started. The usual way we start, remember, is we do the bow, and it's in remembrance of the gratitude for the practice, the gratitude for the knowledge, the gratitude for the people that we're practicing with. So any and all of those, thank you for your time, thank you for your patience in learning. And let's start with our basic beginning, which is when you have your feet shoulder width apart in a big step. So they're long and fairly wide stance. And we're holding the Yat-Sen, holding the lower belly. And we push our way to the front leg, and we push our way back to the back leg. And this is where we're going to begin today. Today, as well, I want to keep my feet firmly planted against the floor the whole time. So there's no rising of the front or the back of the foot. Now, put your mind into your foot. Feel how there's basically a front point of balance when you come forward, and the heel as a back point of balance. There's kind of these 2 points. And your whole foot, though, is like a pad that's soft, and it's going to adhere to the ground. It's going to form itself to the ground as your weight shifts across. And now, as we do this, we're going to breathe in as we go back, and breathe out as we go forward. In as we go back, out as we go forward. And then again, bring your mind into your feet. Feel the entire surface of the foot on the ground and the 2 points of balance like a wave, cresting and falling, cresting and falling. And then turn the belly to the right and come back to the front. Turn the belly to the right, come back to the front. Feel how this is done by pressure through the foot onto the ground. So like hyper aware of your feet today for the moment. Now, as we're doing this, visualize in front of you a figure 8. This like the number 8 on its side. Because we're going to trace that with our hands while we keep our legs doing this. So I'll demonstrate it first. I'm going to go to the forward position. So go to the forward position with me. Now I'm going to bring my left hand up, and it's going to fall down and across. You must do this with me. Down and across. And then it's going to turn so the palm comes up, and then it's going to fall back down and across this way. And then it's going to come back up, and then fall back down. As I go to the back leg, as I go to the front leg. As I go to the back leg, as I go to the front leg. And you can see this, hopefully you can see the figure 8 dynamic of this. See, I'm drawing a figure 8. Down and across, and down and across. And when you're traveling down and across, it's the pinky finger side of the hand that is moving directly down. So it's like this, and then like this. See how the pinky finger leads, and then the pinky finger leads. And then if you feel like you got the motion going correctly, think about your feet again. Breathe in as you come back. Breathe out as you go forward. How are the feet holding you upright? How are they pushing your body through? Now, if you can, speed it up. Try not to let any tension go anywhere in the body, but just let your body flow, flow, flow. And then slow it right down. And then bring your hand back to your center. And now, put your weight to your right foot on the back. Put your right hand up. Put your left hand against the right hand here. Take a breath in, fill your stomach. And now turn to the front and push your right hand out, but resist with your left hand and keep your arm close to the side of your body, okay? So breathe in, push slowly from your stomach. Feel the resistance, and then breathe in and relax. 2. Hold it. Breathe in. 1 more, 3. Hold it. And then feet together. Breathe in. Breathe out. Around the hips. Down. Up. Open. Okay, so now that same thing with the right foot forward. Right foot forward, hands on the dash head, and start forward and back. Forward and back. So as we're doing this and we're switching to the other stance with the other foot forward, one of the reasons I will do a lot of warm-ups where I'll do a sequence on one side and then a sequence on the other side isn't just for ambidextrousness or the use of both limbs, which is good, but also because there's this wiring in the brain where one side of the brain tends to have control over one side of the body and vice versa. So it's to also warm up the brain, because the brain becomes activated by all the different movements, and you want those movements to be equal on left and right side. So that's part of the reason for this. Now we'll jump right into this one a little faster. So turn the belly and push forward. But then take it back to the feet. Remember, the feet are a pad, a smooth, soft surface that adheres to the ground. And you can flex your muscles through the ankle to roll between the back of the foot and the front of the foot. And that is how you turn and move efficiently. Now, we're going to add in the figure 8. This time it's the right hand. So think about the shape in front of you. Visualize the idea of the shape. And then come forward. Raise your right hand. Drop it down and across. Bring it back up. Drop it back down and across. Now, feel your feet again. Bring your mind back to your feet. See how they're pushing and pulling the hip, and that's the source of the movement. Speed it up a little bit if you can. And then slow it right down. And then bring your right hand to your left, fingers up on the left. Take a big breath in. Fill the belly, push through the stomach muscles, through the center, out. Hold it. Breathe in. Relax. Remember to rub the side of the body with the arm. Hold it. And in. And one more. From every muscle in the body, push. And then left foot to right. One more time. Big breath in. Gather. Bring it down. Around the hips. Push down. Breathe in, come back up, and open. And then shake it off a bit. All right. Let's work on a bit of balance and strength. Okay, so balance is structure. You can't build a building that has poor structure, it won't work. So you want to be like a mountain. You think of a mountain like a sort of a pyramid shape. Here's the top, there's the base. Now, if I go here, I'm off balance. I'm here, I'm off balance, here, I'm off balance. So the spine being straight above the hips is the key. So bring your hands up, imagine you're holding a ball. See that there's a double triangle shape here now from the head to the feet, but from the fingers to the elbows also. And then just simply shift your weight to the right and bring your left knee to your left elbow. And then bring it back down. Now my elbow didn't move, my knee came to my elbow, okay? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now my right knee to my right elbow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, bring your left knee to your left elbow and push the knee against the elbow. We're going to hold that for 3 seconds. So up, push. 1, 2, 3. Down. Right knee up. 1, 2, 3. Left. 1, 2, 3. Right knee. 1, 2, 3. One more time, 5 seconds on each knee. Ready? Left knee up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down. Right knee up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then down. Shake it out a bit. And then go back to the left foot forward. Big stance, strong stance. Bring the hands back up. And now think about the idea of going to that position, but then pushing your foot away and extending it from you, and then bringing it back to that position and then stepping back in one motion. So watch me do it. See? Like that. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch feet. What last bit? Put knee up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Shake it off. Do this if you want to help the leg muscles after the workout. Okay. Excuse me. Let me just get a bit of water. 1 moment, please. Okay. So, now got the legs working out. Put your feet out. Sink down. Now, hands come to the lower meditative position, I'm not sure what to call it, beginning position. And from here, you're going to raise your hands up until they're just in front of your solar plexus, which is right at the bottom of the rib cage here. Your fingers are going to point in at you, this way, right? They're curled and they're pointing in at you, back straight. And now, this is a standing meditation that you do in Tai Chi a lot. It's called pile stance. So today we're going to do it for maybe 45 seconds. It's a short time, but it'll feel like a long time. So relax. Try not to let any tension be in any joint, and just breathe into your belly and find the peace and the stillness in the moment. But do keep your eyes open and look at the peripheral expanse of the room that you're in. Slowly put your left foot to your right, hands drop. And now 3 cleansing breaths, where we breathe in, and we take in as much air as we can, and then we wash down the body, clearing all the organs, and then pushing all of that back behind us into the past. Okay, so 3 of these. 1, wash all the organs away, clean them all. 2, and 3. Now, we'll do one more Qigong today before we do the stretch. But this is to lead into the form for the day, because the Tai Chi form and Qigong movements are meant to work together. And this is an important one. This is one that is actually, I learned it out of the Chen family tradition. So it's Chen family rather than the Yang family tradition. And it's part of what's called their silk reeling exercises. And I'll explain that really quick as well. The idea is this. The center of your palm, where your middle finger touches when you make a fist, is a point called Lao Gong, which is pericardium 8. And it is the most important point on the hand for martial artists, but also for anybody who works with traditional medicine, especially the idea of energetic medicine, because it's the energy projection point. So there's a garbage truck outside. And so where this is pointing matters a lot in your Tai Chi movements. So if I'm doing the beginning of the form, this is pointing away and this is pointing at me. And then they're both pointing at each other. And they stay pointing at each other. And then they both point away. And then they both point up. And then they point at each other. There's always this distinct position they're supposed to be in every movement you're going to do. So this is an exercise that, in my mind, teaches you the fundamental element of rotating the palm, because it is so important. Okay, yeah, so that's silk reeling. You're learning to reel the silk around your arm. Let's just think of it that way. So put your feet out in the horse stance again, and back straight, and just put your left hand on your left hip. And now, see in front of you a rectangular shape. I think we've done this before. And put your right hand up in the top corner of the rectangle. But now you're going to pay a really close attention to where the center of the palm is, okay? Now, of course, I'm moving from here, and I'm going to draw the palm from the top corner to the other top corner. And as I do, I'm going to rotate my palm in towards myself. So now I'm looking at my palm. And then I'm going to drop my hand. My palm will be up to the ceiling. And then I get to the bottom corner of the rectangle, and then my hand will come across, and the palm will be to the front, to the outside, and it'll be below the line of the top of my hips. And then the palm, when it gets to here, turns and the wrist bends, and you push up, and then you Imagine your hand is suspended here and the rest of your body sinks back into the center. Okay, so that's the movement. We'll do it again. 1, hand palm comes in, palm drops, sweeps across, climbs back up, and then settles where it started. The body comes to the center. Now when my body comes to the center, I know this is a lot of information, but when my body comes to the center, my eyes also go back to the center, and I'm looking at my hand only through peripheral. So here, my hand comes across my vision, it drops down, and peripheral vision is aware of it, but only that, and then up, and then to the center. Okay, so 5 more, but mostly at your own pace. Just go with the flow of it, how you feel. Back to settle your energy, settle your hara, they would say. Bring your hands down. And then the other hand 5 times. So 1 time for the mechanics, just to get it. Cross, palm looks at you. You look at your palm, I should say. Palm to the ceiling, palm to the front. Fingers climb up. Everything settles in the middle. Okay, so 5 of those. Always go to the settle the moment, settle the energy. Let your hand fall, feet together. And just calm everything. Lower your eyes, lower your mind, let your weight sink into your feet. Hold the energy in your arms gently and have a moment of zen, a moment of peace. And then come out of it slowly. So that's a very important movement. Actually, both of the warm-up movements today had their place. The figure 8 is one thing, but for now, stay focused on this circle. I can draw this circle in numerous ways in the Tai Chi form. It's going to come up later today. So let's stretch first of all. So, usual stretch. I do the same stretch pretty much every time because it works really well. So the feet point out, I push down, I sink down, I put my hands against my knees, and I'm just going to let my hips relax and wiggle somewhat or shift my weight somewhat to really get the hips to relax and open in the center. And then when I feel like, okay, I've got my stretch squared up to the hips, I'm going to turn my feet more forward and bring my fingertips to the ground and push your knees out, but let your elbows sink down. Walk your fingertips forward, extend. Now twist your elbow to your knee and look up at the ceiling. Other way. Straighten your back. Now turn to your left and push your weight to the left foot, but keep your knee over the ankle or just in front of it, but never beyond the toes. So the weight is going into the ground right here. That's very important. And then turn your back heel up, turn your hips to the side, this way, and stretch down. Put your knee to the ground, push your weight forward, stretching this leg here. Now reach forward, push up on your left foot, bring your back foot up. And then step back and put your left ball of the foot in the air and swing your arms down and do Tai Chi stretch, as I like to call it here. See how my heel is on the ground here though, that's the best you can. And then flip the foot, push your weight up gently, and then settle the weight and push forward. So again, your knee is over your ankle or just in front of it, but never beyond the toes. And this foot is pushed way out. And then turn your heel up and your hips to the side. Put your knee down, push your weight forward. Reach up like Superman and up. And step back and swing down low. And then put your hands on the floor, work your feet in. When your feet are shoulder width, put your fingertips under your toes and push your knees back. Now breathe in, straightening up, bring your hands up the back of your legs to the kidneys, and then push the kidneys forward. And then bring yourself to center, and then move your hips around the center, but your head stays still. You can't see my head very well. My hips are only moving. Other way. Good. So, upper body. Put your hands out. And now today we're going to do one, I think we've done this before, but I'll explain it real quick. I'm going to think of my upper torso as a dishcloth, and I'm going to wring the dishcloth in two directions, this way, by going palm up and palm down and extending like this. And as my palm is up, I look to it, and then I turn, and then I look to this one. So the rotation and the spiral is in the upper torso. And every time I do that, I breathe out a little. Think of your shoulders rotating more than your hands, though. One more. Big breath in. And drop your weight and throw it all away. Big breath in. 2, 3. And then, as usual, again, I like to do the same stretches because they work really well, is to reach up, palms straight forward, push your fingertips and the tip of your thumb as high as they can. So focus on the tips of your fingers, but make sure your back isn't doing this. You're still comfortable in your stance. And then only from the bottom of the feet, push your heels up. And now extend as high as you can with your fingertips, with your heels up, and push your toes down. So toes down, fingers up. And then bring your heels down, cross your left hand across the chest like this, pull it in, and turn as far as you can. Drop the hands to the side, right hand up and across, and as far as you can. And then drop the arms, and now reach up again. And this is the last time for today, so see how high you can go. Tippy toes. Toes down, fingers up. High, high, high. And then drop your heels, grab your left elbow with your right hand, pull it behind the head, and sort of turn your left side of your body this way to stretch the whole side of the body. And then switch arms and pull the right and stretch the right side of the body. And then drop your arms. And then just gently roll your shoulders forward and backwards to release the stretch. And then raise your left hand up and pull the fingers back. Bring the hand into the center of the chest and rotate it out. Bring the fingers back up and out and push back. Bring your hand up like this, pinky finger side up. Grab like you're shaking your own hand in a weird way. Twist like a motorcycle throttle and push the elbow back. And then drop, and you can shake a little bit. It's kind of nice to do that, or you can do this just to let the wrist relax again. And then the other one. Into the center. Fingers up, push out. And then again, bring the hand up like this. Grab, twist, and push back. And give it a shake. And put your hands on your hips and turn your head all the way to the left and hold it for just a second, stretching the side of the neck. And then to the right and hold it and stretch to the other side. And then back and forth. And then roll your chin down and up, down and up, down and up, down and up. And look forward and look up. Look down and go around. 1, 2, 3, other way. 1, 2, 3. Okay, what time do we got? Cool. So I did the intro or the warm up a little longer today because it was a big part of what I wanted to teach today anyways. Tai Chi is all circular movement. And that means that you actually do circles all the time in the movement. And you do the circles with joints. Obviously, I can't move the bone by itself, right? I can't get the bone to do anything. I can get the joint to hinge. So the joint is where all movement actually originates from in terms of the part of the body that's moving. So I can do a circle with my shoulder. I can do a circle with my elbow. And I can do a circle with my wrist. And I can do a circle with all three at once. And like the arms, the legs have three main joints. They have, instead of a shoulder, it's a hip. Instead of an elbow, it's a knee. And instead of a wrist, it's an ankle. But it's all the same thing. So just having said that, try to notice where those circles are, because they are the building blocks. Oh, and the figure eight is just two circles put together, or one circle that's been twisted, depending on how you look at it, right? Because I have the circle here and the circle here, and I'm just tracing between the two. Okay, so that happens a lot too. Anyway, I'm assuming that everybody has some grasp of getting to here, because that's what we did last class, I believe. So we'll review, but I want to spend time on the next movement because it's pretty complicated. So Start from here, relax. Left foot steps out. Weight shifts to the center, or to the left, and then back to the center, hands fall. Look forward and raise your hands. Lower your hands. Turn to the right, push down, pick up the thermos, step away and throw the thermos. Roll back, turn to the direction behind you, pull in, push away with 2 hands. Grab the ball goes on a figure 8. There's definitely a figure 8 right there. Pull back, push up and away. Look to the front, left foot comes in, turn to the front, brush aside once, brush aside twice. Raise the left knee to the left elbow, down, out, and expand into single whip. Still on screen, yeah, here. Now, weight goes to the right foot, hands come up, like you're diving into water. Hands wrap around. Right foot shifts across, both fingers point up. Fingers fall, knee rises. Hands come back up, everything comes down together. Step down, deflect with the right hand, keep away with the left, strike forward with the back of the right wrist. Here. Okay? So, if I did that 3 more times, would that be enough? Yes, no, sort of? I don't know. Let's try that and see what we do. Okay, so 3 more times. Just from here. Raise your hands. Lower your hands. Turn. Down. Up. Throw. Rock back. Make sure you pull in your right foot to a position here where it's defensive, and then you move out again. And then double tray, and then a figure 8. See the figure 8. Throw the ball away and push it back. Look, always think of 2 blocks, 2 movements to block. 1 movement to block, another movement to block. Then take a hold, rise up, step down, and expand out. And then dive in. Wrap the arms. Bring the fingers up, the fingers down, the knee up, the hands up, and everything comes down together. The foot pushes, steps down, push away, keep away, strike with the wrist. Okay? So the next 2 times I won't talk as much. So we'll just go through the movement. Again. And now, before we do the last one more time as a review, I want to show that last bit again this way, so you really try to hone in on this, okay? So I'm here, I come here, I do this, and I do this. My hands are in the V shape, right? Because the energy is coming together this way. My foot is up. My foot simply pushes down, heel down, And then as my weight goes to the front, towards the front, I turn and my right hand comes across. There. And then my left hand hasn't moved, right? It's still here. So what it does is it pushes down and to the outside where the right hand was. So the right hand's here, and then the left hand pushes it out of the way. And then the right hand then comes out from the inside of these two arms and strikes. And remember, the back of the wrist is the strike to a throat. Very effective strike, very effective. So here, 1, 2, 3. Okay? So that part is actually not too bad once you get the hang of it. It's just tight. It's a small movement. Now, let's go to the next sequence. The next sequence actually has a name, kind of like this is catching a sparrow by the tail. This one is called eagle, or the crane spreads its wings. And you can, I think crane is more appropriate because crane is more of an ancestor to the Tai Chi, and cranes definitely stand sometimes with their wings out in various ways. It's quite interesting to see. So I'm gonna go back to facing this way. I've just done this movement here, 1, 2. So I'm here. Now, my eyes are straight to the front, and remember there's 8 directions around you. You're gonna look to your 90 degrees to your left, okay? And you're gonna forget about your right hand. Your right hand is not important right now, just your left hand. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna bring your weight to your left foot, so you're gonna push your weight back to your left foot. You're gonna turn your right foot towards the left, and as you do, you'll notice that your left hand comes to a position here where the palm is to the outside. And then you're gonna draw a circle like we were doing earlier from that position. See? I'm just doing a circle from there. So, the weights come forward onto the right foot. It goes back to the left foot. I turn to the left, and as I bring my weight back to my right, draw a circle with my left hand, like this. Now, show you my feet. So again, I've just done this movement, 1, 2, 3. My weight's forward on my right foot. Back to my left foot. Right foot turns to the left. Weight shifts to the right foot, and my left hand draws a circle. And as it does, my left foot stays in cat stance, which is like this, which is also to say that there's no weight placed on this foot. This foot is empty, so to speak. It can be, you could kick it and I wouldn't fall down. This is my balance on my right foot, okay? So one last time. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So of course that's only the left hand. The right hand has a job to do too. So let's look at the right hand next. Go to here. Now, the left hand will do what it's going to do already. 1, 2. Now, as your left hand comes up, your right hand's going to come to just be in front of your face here, somewhere like this. And your left hand's going to come up. And then as the left hand comes down, the right hand will come up on the outside here. And then the left hand finishes and the right hand comes by the right eye. Okay? Now I'm going to do this towards the camera. So watch what I'm doing. First, the left hand is doing this. Right? So we've established that. Now the right hand is going to go here and out. On the outside as the left hand comes down, and then come back by the right eye like that. See the posture now? See my right hand is up like this, my left hand is like this. Okay? So again, from here, right hand just stays where it is. Just don't worry about it at all until your left hand goes above it. And at this point, as it comes down, it moves out as your left hand comes down on the inside. The two arms are crossing here, roughly throat to nose height. And then they clear, and they go to there. Okay? So I'm going to do it again facing the direction that we have been using for the front, here. Now, back, and I turn to the left, and I draw my hand up and around, and then posture here. Okay? This is the posture of the crane spreading its wings. This is the wings being opened like that. Okay? So one more time. Back. And then to here. Okay? So this is the blocking aspect of this sequence. It's a lot more than that, but for now, think of it as blocks. This is a block, and this is a block. Okay? This is a block like this. Anything that's coming at you here, you can clear it to the outside, right? It's just that. It doesn't have to be any more complicated than that. This one is anything coming at you this way, you're blocking like this. So it's coming in, and you're gonna let it steer past you like that. See? So it's coming to hit me, and I'm gonna go nope off to the side. Okay? So that's two blocks. So when I'm here, I shift back, and I think block number 1 with the left, block number 2 with the right, and then I hold my posture. And what this posture is doing, if you follow with me, I know it's a lot, sometimes there's gonna be days where I just, lots of information. If you think about the attacker doing a right punch and then a left punch, that means that the right punch will be blocked here by the left hand, and the left hand will be blocked by the right hand here, and I can stay connected to the two arms. So my arm is on the inside of the one arm here, like this, with it like this, and this arm is on the inside of the other arm, like this. So I'm actually keeping both arms from being able to hit me again. I'm expanding out against them both, if that makes some sense. I hope it does. Yeah, I think people are, I can't really tell, but hopefully that makes sense. So from here, I turn and I block 1, and I block 2, and now I've trapped both of their arms, okay? And now we're gonna add in the last part of the sequence, and then we'll just stop there, because I wanna review that, of course. The next thing requires a little explanation, so you can relax and I'll try to explain something. If you go back to the idea that you are always moving in circular motions in Tai Chi, even if they're straight lines, they're actually circular in their own way. And that has to do with the fact that joints, where your mobility resides, are always designed by nature to have some amount of circular motion. But the thing is, it doesn't matter, there's not very many variations of how you can move your shoulder. Your shoulder, in terms of dynamic movement, is very limited to just being used. It can't be used in multiple ways. So whether I'm throwing a baseball, or hockey, or driving a car, well, maybe not driving a car, but maybe paddling in a canoe, whatever it is, my shoulder's really only doing this in some way. There's just nothing else it can really do in that sense. The elbow gets a little bit more freedom. It can do some more different things. It can go around like this. It can come up and weave and just the elbow itself can do things. And then the hand has tons, almost endless little minor potentials. So I can have a fist, I can have an open hand, I can have a half fist, I can have finger strikes, I can have claws, I can have pinches, all these different things the hand can do. But if you cut it off at the wrist, it gets limited. You cut it off at the elbow, it gets much more limited, and then fundamentally, you're only moving your center around. And so the reason I say that is that, let's take a movement like this. Okay, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. All of these are a simple movement of my wrist into a different shape of my hand. It doesn't change the movement. The movement's still the same. It's a different expression of the movement, okay? So the next movement we're doing from here has a very difficult expression and a much easier expression. And we're going to learn both of them. And I'm going to suggest that you try to train the more difficult one. But if you need self-defense, you do the simple one, okay? And that is this. Make a normal fist. And raise your middle finger up so your thumb sits in front of the first knuckle of the middle finger here, just above the nail. So it's like this, see? This is a single point strike. But what we're gonna focus on is this knuckle right here. So just this knuckle. And what we're gonna do is from here, our elbow's gonna come in and we're gonna make that fist and strike this way, rotating out here. Very difficult, very, very difficult, okay? So don't think that's easy, it is very difficult. So I go 1, 2, and then I go like that. And what I'm doing is I'm taking that knuckle and I'm hitting a spot called Tai Yang right here, which is the temple. Most people know of the temple. This is very, very effective, it's potentially lethal. That's how serious this strike is. So you only do it for self-defense. But that's what the form wants you to do right there. Okay, so let's practice that and add that in, okay? So from here, shift back, turn, raise your left hand, block once, block twice. Now, strike the temple with the back of the knuckle here, like that. See how that rotates like this? Look, my elbow falls in and it rotates out. Okay? Now, you relax for a second, I'm going to say one more thing. This will be the last big thought for today, I promise, because I know it's been a lot today. But actually, I'm sure I've said this before anyways, but you have a center line, you have this idea of a center line that your body extends out from. So when I'm here, I have to hit the center line. I can't hit here, it's got to come to the center line, maybe a little across. Not to here, but just to there, okay? So that becomes a very powerful strike with that motion, you see? Okay, that is the difficult way to do this. And that's important because in training, you should always do the most difficult thing so that the easy things are very easy for you, okay? And that easy ones are for self-defense. Self-defense should be direct and you can't think, right? You can't think, oh, what do I need to do? You just do it. And that is to simply close your fist and then strike here with this part of the hand, like that. So you go to there and you just strike like this. You don't do that final rotation and do the precision. It's just hitting anywhere along the side of the neck. Very effective. Okay? So, having said that, let's go back to the form. I shift back. I turn to the left. I bring my hand up. I block with my left hand. And I block with my right hand. And now the eagle or the white crane is showing its power, its wings. And now the right elbow comes in, and I'm going to hit the temple with the back of the right knuckle there. Okay? So that's good. There's one more part to this sequence. And it involves another type of hand position, which again is only one expression of many that can be done. And I think what the form is doing is it's showing you these really detailed, difficult hand positions to just teach them, to have them put somewhere that you can learn them. But this one is much more practical. Now this is definitely self-defense again. This is for situations where you have to defend yourself against a situation that is very dire, very serious. And that is you pop an eardrum with air pressure. And the way you do that is you cup your hand as if you're holding water in your hand. And so when I go here and I hit there, my left hand comes back like this. And then it comes out and I've got my hand cupped and I do this, a little slap against the side of the ear, but that air pressure build up and it will do, it's very painful, it's very mean if you're not doing it for self-defense. It's not appropriate to ever do if it's not self-defense. But boy, is it effective. Because self-defense isn't fun, self-defense isn't fair. You have to do things that are effective and serious. And this is some really, really high level of understanding of that. Okay? So, one, left hand comes up. Deflect the punch, deflect the other punch. Eagle spreads its wings, posture. Now, hit the temple, 1. Now cup air to the ear, 2. Now remember that circle that we did here before with the left? Just do that again after you've cupped air to the ear. And as you do, step forward with your left foot and go to a long stance. Okay? And we're almost done. So, from here, one more time, back, turn, here's your first block, here's your second block, there's the posture. Make sure that you have the moment of the posture. Then strike the temple, cup air into the ear, and then step in and think of this as a clearing motion here. Just clear anything out of the way that's still in the way. Make sure your palm is fully to the outside, because remember the circle turns that way. And now as you do that, you're simply going to push your right hand out. And think of striking with the palm heel right here. This, somewhere like that. Okay? So let's put it all together a few times. 1. Posture. Strike number 1. Strike number 2. Clear. And then powerful push. Now I'll do it to face the camera so you can see what my hands are doing. Remember that rectangle from the Qigong? Narrow it to a square here and keep everything within that square. All of this is within the square, okay? So 1, I turn, my left hand comes up, and as it comes down, and blocking as it comes down, my right hand comes up on the outside. And then my hands go into the posture. Then my right hand comes in and strikes the temple. My left hand comes and reaches out to the eardrum. And then I step forward and push out of the way and hit with my right palm like that. Now see, my left hand is still forward though. So both hands are forward. Okay? That's important. All right, one more time from here. And that is the full sequence. Now, don't be too intimidated by it. Usually, even if I'm teaching in person, it takes a person a number of tries to really get all of the details. So don't worry about it. You're doing great. This is a lot to take in one day. But I want to do it again, but I want to tie it in to singlet. So start from here and then continue so that it gets tied into what you already know. Okay, do it again. Over here. 1. Wrap the arms. Drop the arms, raise the leg. Hands come up. Hands come down. Step, turn, block, and strike. Rock back. Now, left hand comes up to block now. Now as it comes down, it's blocked. Then right hand blocks to the outside. Strike the temple. Cup air into the ear. Clear. And push forward with a powerful stance here. Okay? What time are we at? Well, it's 2 o'clock. I didn't realize we went that far. So let's say that I'm done. Thank you for your time. Sorry for keeping you to that hour.